Hello YouTube friends, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to come up with a formula for sums that look like this in the top left hand corner. That is 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 15 plus 21. How can we find a formula that describes sums like this? I'm going to show you exactly how. Now, before I show you how to get this formula, we are going to have a look at these numbers in more detail. Okay? Why do we have this actual sum here? And is there a pattern? Well, this 1 over here, we can say is just 1. 3 is in fact 1 plus 2. 6 is in fact 1 plus 2 plus 3. 10 is in fact 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. 15 is in fact 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And 21 is in fact 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. Okay, so we've spotted a pattern in these numbers, okay? And this is going to be essential when we are coming up with our formula. However, can we spot another pattern though? And will we need this other pattern in order to create our formula? Well, the answer to that is yes, and I'm going to show you another pattern that we must spot before we proceed with finding this formula. Okay, what I want you to do is divert your attention to this over here. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. Is there another way to describe this? Well, yes there is. This is in fact the same as 6 over 2 multiplied by 6 plus 1, okay? And this is the case because of this formula over here. N over 2 multiplied by n plus 1. Let's say there are 10 terms in a series, and you have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 and plus 10. How would you calculate all of that? Well, all you would do is get 10 over 2 and multiply it by 10 plus 1. We know this because Carl Friedrich Gauss discovered it in junior school, and this equation over here is very popular for calculating sums as such. Now at first you may not believe me when I tell you this, so let's perform a few experiments so that you get the point. What is 6 over 2 times 6 plus 1? Okay, this is going to be the same as 3 multiplied by 7, okay, because 6 over 2 is 3, and that is 21, okay? So we've proven that this over here can describe this, and this describes 21 over here. Now let's try the same thing for 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 over here. I'm going to say that this is 5 over 2 multiplied by 5 plus 1. Now what is this? It's going to be 5 over 2 times 6. So that is 30 over 2. And 30 over 2 is equal to 15. Okay? So this over here describes this, which describes 15 over here. So you're getting the point now. I'm not going to do the other ones If you don't believe me, you can try them out yourself. And we're going to move on to the next part of this video. Okay, so before we crack on and find this formula which describes this sum, there are going to be three things that you need to know. You need to know that these numbers up here can be described just by counting, okay? So 1 is 1, 3 is 1 plus 2, 6 is 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing you need to know is that if you have, let's say, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, all you need to do to get the sum of all of this is go 5 over 2 times 5 plus 1, okay? So the second thing you need to know is this equation right over here. And this can be described with sigma, okay? R equals 1 at the bottom, R next to it, and N, okay? So this is the second thing you need to know, that this over here, which can be used to find sums such as this, can be described with this little piece of information over here. Now the last thing you need to know is that n over here equals the number of terms in a series. So if we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, as we do over here, n is going to be equal to 5 because there are 5 terms. Alright? So with all of the information that I've given you, we can proceed with finding the formula which describes sums such as this. Okay? So, get ready for the next part of this video. Okay, so let's come up with a description for sums such as this up here. This, by the way, that we see at the top isn't a perfect description, and it isn't going to be good enough for us to come up with our formula. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to come up with right now. Let's begin. Okay, so what we are going to have is 1, which is equal to 1, plus 1 plus 2 in brackets, okay, which is equal to 3, plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 in brackets, which is equal to 6, plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 in brackets, which is equal to 10. Now pay attention to this. Plus dot 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 plus, because we are continuing. This is going to be essential now, so pay attention. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus dot 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 plus n minus 4 plus n minus 3 plus n minus 2, all in brackets. I'm going to explain why this is the case very soon. What is also going to form part of the description is plus, let me see here, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus dot 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 plus, let me see, n minus 3 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 1, all in brackets. Look, it doesn't matter if you don't understand what's going on right now. I'm going to explain it all to you in a matter of moments, so just bear with me here. What we are also going to get as part of this description, and finally as well, is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus dot 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 plus, let me see, n minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus n, all in brackets. So in order to create our formula, we need this proper mathematical description of sums which look like this right at the top over here. Okay? Now, you may not understand what all of this means, but I'm going to explain it to you right now. So, this n over here, which we see repeated, is just the number of terms, okay, in a series, okay? So let's say for this massive description over here, alright, let's say that n is equal to 10. What is all of this going to translate into? Let's have a look. So at the top we have 1, okay, plus we have 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus we have this over here, which is 6, plus we have this over here, which is 10. We have this over here, which is plus dot 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 plus. We have this over here, okay, which is simply going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8, okay, because 10 minus 2 is 8 and n is equal to this 10 over here. So over here we get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. And then we get plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 in brackets, because n minus 1 over here is equal to 9, n minus 2 over here is equal to 8, and n minus 3 over here is equal to 7. And finally, we get plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, okay, in brackets, because this n over here is equal to 10, like we've said, n minus 1 is equal to 9, and n minus 2 is equal to 8. Now, for it to really sink in, I want you to write down everything that I've written, and you can experiment with it as well for, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes. I'm sure that if you do that, all of this is going to sink in. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because when you are coming up with formulas or mathematical proofs, you need to come up with proper descriptions of sums such as this to get a proof or to get a formula. Just writing down this at the top over here, okay, is not sufficient to come up with a formula or proof. So we need to make things a little more complicated and come up with descriptions such as this one over here. Okay, so we had a look at this description over here and we changed n into 10, okay? And what we ended up getting is this over here, okay? We've simplified some parts of it, but let's simplify the rest. So we get 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus dot 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 plus. We have this over here, which is simply going to be 8 over 2 times 8 plus 1. We have this over here, which is simply going to be 9 over 2 multiplied by 9 plus 1. And we have this over here, which is simply going to be 10 over 2 multiplied by 10 plus 1. Now we know this over here, okay, because of what I said earlier, okay, that to get a sum such as this over here, you use this formula down here, n over 2 multiplied by n plus 1. Okay, so where are we at now? We are over here at the bottom of this page, and we can actually simplify this over here further. Okay, if we do that, we're going to end up with 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 15 plus 21, because of what we know up here. Okay, 21 is in fact 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, sorry, over here. And 15 is this over here, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and plus 5. So we know that this over here is translating into this below, and because this is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, we're going to get a 7 over 2 multiplied by 7 plus 1 here, and then we get these three things over here. So that's 8 over 2 multiplied by 8 plus 1 plus 9 over 2 multiplied by 9 plus 1 plus 10 over 2 multiplied by 9 plus 1. Okay, sorry, multiplied by, I have to correct this, 10 plus 1. Okay, so that's 10 over 2 multiplied by 10 plus 1. If we simplify this over here, okay, we end up with this. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to simplify everything one more time so you can really get a feel for what this description up here, this chunky description, actually meant. I owe it to you. Okay, get your calculator out because you might need it here. We are going to simplify further. So over here. So we've got 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 15 plus 21 plus 7 over 2 times 7 plus 1. What's that? So that's 7 over 2 times 8. That's going to be 28. Okay. So 28. All right. So this over here is 28. Now what's this over here? It's 8 times 9 divided by 2, and that's going to give us 36. Okay, so this over here is 36. This over here is 9 times 10, okay, which is 90, divided by 2, that's going to be 45. And this over here is 10 times 11, okay, divided by 2, and that's going to be 55. All right, so when n is equal to 10, all right, this description up here, this massive and chunky description, is going to turn into this over here. And this sum is similar to the one that we have at the top of the page over here, but it contains more terms. Okay, it contains 10 terms instead of 6. All right. Now this description up here can be used to create any of these series which look like this at the top and which look like this, okay? They can be used to describe any of these types of series. Now, there is an easier way to create a description such as this large and chunky one that I came up with, all right? It's going to be far easier on the eye, but it's going to mean exactly the same thing. Let me show it to you. Because we know this, okay, sigma r with r equals 1 at the bottom and n at the top here for number of terms is equal to n over 2 times n plus 1, okay, we can say that this description over here is the same as equals 1 over 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1 plus 2 over 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1 plus 3 over 2 multiplied by 3 plus 1 plus 4 over 2 multiplied by 4 plus 1 plus plus, let me see, n minus 2 over 2 multiplied by n minus 2 plus 1 plus n minus 1 divided by 2 multiplied by n minus 1 plus 1 plus n over 2 multiplied by n plus 1. Okay, so that massive description that we saw above can be described with this over here. Now, if you don't understand what I've just written, just stand by. I'm going to demonstrate to you exactly what it means. Okay, so we're now at this stage, and I'm going to show you what all this means, okay? And I'm going to use number of terms is equal to 10 to demonstrate what all of this is going to actually mean, okay? So we have 1 over 2 times 1 plus 1. That is actually 2 over 2. We have 2 over 2, which is 1, times 2 plus 1, which is actually 3. Okay, we have 3 over 2 times 4, so that's 12 divided by 2, which is 6. And we have 4 over 2, which is 2, times 5, which is 10. And then we have a plus, plus. Then over here, because we've got n minus 2, we've actually got we've actually got 8 over 2 multiplied by 8 plus 1. Alright, so that's 8 over 2 multiplied by 8 plus 1. Then we have plus n minus 1 is 9, so 9 over 2 multiplied by 9 plus 1, because n minus 1 is 9, like I've just said. And we have plus 10 over 2 multiplied by 10 plus 1, okay, because n is equal to 10. So we are starting to get a picture of what this over here actually all means. Okay, when we plugged the value 10 into n, into this description over here, okay, we got this over here. Alright, and this over here turns out to be the same as this value over here that we got when we plugged 10 into this description over here, okay, this long description over here. This means that this description over here is exactly the same as this over here, okay? Now that we understand what's going on, and we know how to describe any sum that looks like this up here, okay, we can now begin to find our formula. So what I want you to do now is copy this description over here, which describes the sums that we've just been talking about. And once we have that written down, once you've written it down, we can begin to find that formula. Anyway, let's start. So the description for those sums we've realized is the same as 1 over 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1 plus 2 over 2, okay, multiplied by 2 plus 1 plus 3 over 2 multiplied by 3 plus 1 plus 4 over 2 multiplied by 4 plus 1 plus plus, let's see what we've got up here again. So that's n minus 2 over 2 multiplied by n minus 2 plus 1. And then we've got plus n minus 1 divided by 2 multiplied by n minus 1 plus 1. And then finally we've got plus n over 2 multiplied by n plus 1. We know that this over here describes all the sums that look like this up here, that we've got up here, okay? So this is a great mathematical description of that. Now from here, we are going to move on to the next stage of finding our formula. Alright, so far so good. The most difficult part for me is actually explaining the logic behind my reasoning, and that happens at the beginning of every video. You know, as I progress in these videos, they get more fun, and because the logic gets out of the way. So there's just the maths, and there's just the numbers, and there's just the, you know, approaching the proof. That part is all fun. And in this case right now, we are onto the fun part. Okay, so let's start simplifying shit. Sorry for my language, I just love doing these proofs. Anyway, we've got a half over here, alright, and over here we have a half, 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 and over here we have a half, right? Because we've got all these values over 2, and 1 over 2 is a half. So we are going to bring a half out in this equation. So we're going to say equals, over here, half, and then we're going to make these big brackets over here. And in these brackets we're going to get 1 multiplied by 1 plus 1 over here. We are going to get 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1. This is all because we brought out the half over here. Okay, we are going to get plus 3 multiplied by 3 plus 1, and we're going to get plus 4 multiplied by 4 plus 1, and then we're going to get plus plus n minus 2 multiplied by n minus 2 plus 1 plus n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 1 plus 1, and then we get plus n multiplied by n plus 1, okay, all in brackets. And things have changed because we brought out that half. Now let's move on to the next part of finding this formula. So we've got this right here. Let's see what we can cook up next. So this is going to be equal to a half, and we have brackets here. So that's 1 squared plus 1, and then we've got plus 2 squared plus 2, okay, and then we've got plus 3 squared plus 3, and then we've got plus 4 squared plus 4 plus plus, and we've got n minus 2 squared plus n minus 2, and then we've got plus n minus 1 squared plus n minus 1, okay, and then we've got plus n squared plus n, alright, all going into these big brackets over here. And from this point we are going to simplify even further and get even closer to that formula that we are looking for. Okay, let's move on now. To move on, we are going to organize everything that we see inside the brackets, okay? Because in these brackets we have a 1 here, we have a 2, we have a 3, we have a 4, we have an n-2, we have an n-1, and we have an n. Similarly, okay, we have a 1 squared, a 2 squared, a 3 squared, a 4 squared, an n-2 squared, an n-1 squared, and an n squared. So when we organize, we are going to put these numbers into separate components, 2 separate components. So let's get on to the next stage. We are going to end up with a half, and then brackets over here. We'll have more brackets, 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared plus 4 squared plus plus n-2 squared, okay, plus, let me just make this clear over here, plus n-1 squared plus n squared, okay. These are going to be put in small brackets, and then next to this we are going to have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus plus n-2 plus n-1 plus n, okay, in small brackets. And what we see to the left here and what we see to the right here are going to be placed in big brackets, all right? So this over here represents everything in green that we've rounded in green, okay? And this over here represents everything that we've rounded in black, all right? And from here we can move on to the next part of finding the formula. All right, now this over here, this is actually crucial. This can be described using sigma, okay, r squared next to it, r equals 1, because if we expand it, we'd be starting at 1. And we'd have an n up here, okay? So this over here describes exactly what we are seeing over here. You can test it out yourself, you know, you can put 1 into r squared, then you can put 2 into r squared, and then you can put n-2 into r squared. You can try it out, okay? And this over here can be described with the sigma symbol, r next to it. R is equal to 1 because you'd be starting with 1 as you expand it, and an n above the sigma. Okay, we spoke about this earlier. Go back to what I had written down at the start of the video. As you can see, it's over here, okay? So since this is the case, right, since this is equal to this up here, and since this is equal to this up here, we are going to get a far more simple equation, okay? And this is going to allow us to get to the formula more quickly. Alright, so let's simplify what we've got even further. From here we should be able to get equals a half. Then we have in brackets, we have that nice big sigma symbol with r squared next to it. Then r equals 1 below it. Then n above it for terms. Remember, n is equal to the amount of terms that you have. And then we have plus this over here, okay, which is sigma r. R equals 1 below it, and n over here for number of terms again. And we close the brackets like this. So this big chunky thing up here, okay, becomes this simple and tidy equation or formula down here. Now we are going to simplify even further, so stay ready for the next clip on this video. Okay, so we're close to finding that formula. We are going to transform this over here into half multiplied by sigma r squared, okay, with r equals 1 here and up here, plus half multiplied by the sigma sign r equals 1 down here, and n over here. Okay, now it turns out that this over here is equal to n over 2 multiplied by n+1. Okay, I already demonstrated this to you at the start of this video here. Remember this? Okay, remember this equation here, and remember this. I showed you that these two are connected. You can go back to the start of the video if you like, if you don't really understand why, but I assume that you do. Okay, so this over here, okay, is actually equal to this, so we can simplify what we've got even further. Okay, so this up here is now going to change. It's going to be equal to a half. Okay, that's a half multiplied by this over here, and then plus a half multiplied by n over 2 multiplied by n+1. And if we simplify this, we get half multiplied by this, okay, plus n over 4 multiplied by n+1. Okay, and this is the formula that we were looking for. So if you have a sum that looks like this up here, what we started with in the beginning of this video, we are going to end up with this. Okay, now this formula over here can be used to find the sum, okay, of any sum that looks like this that I put down at the start of this video. Okay, if you get this formula over here, you can discover what the value is going to be if you have a massive sum like the one above, but with more numbers. There's also something else I'd like to say. With this formula over here, you can figure out what this is equal to, okay, geometrically, because at the moment we don't really know what this is in terms of a simple formula like n over 2 multiplied by n+1. However, with what we've just discovered, we can figure out what this is geometrically, and I'm actually going to make a video related to it. Okay, so if you want to know how to come up with this over here, stay tuned and subscribed to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to show you how to figure it out geometrically. And I'd also like to say, if you like my videos, if you like my work, please support me by following me on Instagram. You can see it on the screen right now. This is my Instagram page. And there's also a donate button or link at the bottom of this video if you'd like to donate to my project and help me make even better videos. And once again, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below this video. Personally, I still believe that I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm still learning ways to improve my videos. But anyway, thanks for watching, and get ready for my next video. Take care.